In the last talk, number R6, step 1, it was getting very long, so I had to stop it. And while stopping, the last topic being discussed was about those seekers who used to go, it's a matter of ancient times, maybe very few, maybe doing it now also. So who used to go to ashrams of the gurus in the jungles. Out of them, there used to be very few who will be seeking the permission of their parents and then renouncing the family and going out for good. But most others, they would go there to learn certain things, even spiritual things, and they were to return back. So those who took permission and renunciated and went, that was will of the God, and many of them, they achieved their goals, met God Almighty. But those who did not seek permission, went there to the ashram. Permission means family for renunciation. So they were supposed to come back to their families. But while remaining in the ashram, while hearing to their guru, they got a fascination and they decided to renunciate from there itself. So what happened? They, as per God's will, they were to come back. But they used their free will and stayed back. So these are the persons who lose out badly in the sense that they were to do many good things as per God's will, which they did not do using the power of their free will. So this is what is to be understood. So in that last talk, it was abruptly ended, so I just explained it again. Now, by the way, journey to God Almighty should not interfere in our good worldly pursuits adversely. Because whatever we are doing, one may be studying, another may be doing some job, maybe in some profession. So there are several things which are supposed to do. So our journey towards God Almighty should not adversely affect these things. A right time will come when probably they will not be pursuing these things. But till then, every genuine seeker should do justice with what he is supposed to do. So that is family duties, professional duties, and whatever our business duties, study duties should be taken care of well. No excuse should be given that I am going on this spiritual path and therefore I can't do it. That will be a wrong thing. So this is a very important matter, my dear friends, should be checked out. But while moving ahead in this spiritual journey, as well as our worldly life, we should watch out for God Almighty's signals, because we go on getting His signals from time to time. And frankly speaking, the right thing is just to fall in line with what God Almighty is indicating. Because if He wants us to take in that path what He is indicating, He will do it. Because it might have been programmed already. So whether we do it willingly or unwillingly, we have to go by that. So just watch out for those indications. To give an example, it could be that suppose a person is doing a job. Now he gets some urge that no, I should give up this job. I think I should start my own business, or I should take up another job. So if that indication was from God Almighty, and if he still remains undecided for quite some time, what will happen is he will start experiencing obstacles in his present job. And his urge to give up that job will be more. But still, if he doesn't leave, such conditions will be created there by the God Almighty that he will be leaving the job ultimately. So, if that thing happens, by the way, don't grudge. Don't feel bad that conditions were created like this and I was forced or, under bad circumstances I came out. My dear friend, it was God's will. Nobody else can do it. You did not do it earlier. So God got it done for you. So be very happy. Fall in line, as I said earlier. No grudging on these things. Because He has some special design for all of us. So let us go into that. Let us work as per the will of the God Almighty, and in the long run will not be loser at all. If there are some short-term problems, we should endure that willingly and taking the name of God Almighty and pursuing that mantra of that I will become a proper human being. When we are traveling in our journey towards God Almighty and say on the scale of humanity reach about 65 to below 75%. In this, you see, as I explained, for 75 to do those good things. For this at least one good thing should be there. One for other and one winning over some bad trait in our personality. So if we reach that level, sometimes God Almighty shows up glimpses of something which is going to happen in the future. So those could be about yourself, about some other individual, or it may be shown in a larger canvas concerning even the nation or the world. Since these are future events, and as God Almighty Himself has given free will to the people, these could change also. In case of individual, you see, if you see him very well and you want to predict today that this will happen, based on your general power of the mind, it is very difficult, my dear friends, because situation is very dynamic. Things go on changing. So there, your accuracy may be less. But if you try to find out God's design in a larger canvas, there what happens? Whatever you see may really come out to be almost true, because there are so many persons involved. So maybe 10% may use their free will against what you had foreseen, but 90% may be using their free will for that. So that nation as a whole will do that, what you saw. But in case of individual, if he himself uses his free will, what will happen? Your thing, what you foresaw will not be coming out. So anyway, what I said is this happens, and just remember this thing also, that that thing may not happen. So let us not jump and declare that I am forcing this and this is going to happen, because it's quite possible it may not happen. In fact, I also foresaw something on a very large canvas, something very good, when I was in that journey. And on that thing, I wrote a big novel between 2003 and 2005. So when I completed in 2005, I approached about 5 publishers of USA. None of them accepted it for publication. 2 suggested that they may help me in self-publishing. But by the time, you see, my urge towards God became still more intense, and I just gave up. I didn't pursue it. Till now, I did not pursue. That is what I had foreseen. Just for information I am telling you. It was a very interesting thing in the sense that it starts like this, that USA and India become very close, they form a confederation. Then after this, aircrafts of aliens are seen. So in the meantime, many more nations, they join the confederation. Then aliens, aircraft, when they came second time, one was shot down by a country. So they destroyed 2 cities of that country. So fear wave engulfed the whole world. So people, nations flocked to join that confederation, and finally it turned out into a world government. So world government was formed. That's a wonderful thing if this can happen, a world government, because there will be order all over the world. But later on, aliens, there was a friendly arrival of aliens. And their monarch, they had monarchy, but they had a very complex system. Monarch visited Earth on the invitation of the president of the world government, and later world government's president and vice president, they also visited the aliens. So it was that now. I feel such a thing should come true. Anyway, I did not pursue further that what is God Almighty's wish in this. I just, as an example, I just gave it. By the way, those pursuing God Almighty, they just don't dream meaninglessly. There is some thing involved in that. So the things which they foresee may not come out as it is 100%, but near about that thing is possible, my dear friends. Now let us come back to our main topic of God Almighty's mantra, that is, I'll become a proper human being. I think I had told in one of the talks that I discovered it in 1992. After having used it on myself for 2 years, I brought it in public in a very limited way in 1994. Now, through this YouTube uploads, I am bringing it for the world to know about it. This mantra, my dear friends, it is so powerful that only this one mantra, it can take us to God Almighty. As I described in the earlier talk, if someone goes on using his free will and not doing bad things, one after another, God will be so pleased that he'll appear on his own. So this is that power. So those who pursue God Almighty using this mantra, I think even if they don't go through those other 3 steps, they will certainly reach God Almighty, find out their own path the way I found. Only thing is this, that I have consolidated, it is in an organized manner. So without these things, time taken may be more, as I took more time. And if these are adopted, time taken will be less. That is the only difference. So don't think that whatever I am saying, only that has to be followed. By the way, here I'd like to tell one thing, my dear friends. That suppose in long futures, suppose when I am not there, and these uploads are there, and there are certain people and a group of people, and they go on increasing, and they like this system, etc., and they form a sort of religion and all that, etc. And you see, just stick to the words which I have spoken now, that will not be good, my dear friend, because, as I said, situation is dynamic. Things go on changing, and therefore methods and other things also go on changing. So at least I would not like that things should remain stationary. Things should go on changing. One should use the mind for that purpose and find out methods which suit that particular time. So, as I said, now we have already come to that mantra. Now, we have to use this mantra to start with. I think anybody can start it from his or her parents. One may just reflect back that how he behaves, how he takes care of the parents. And if there is any shortcoming, that should be corrected. So, any specific detail, etc., I will be taking in the next talk and the last talk on this mantra, that is R8. But here I am just introducing in short. So, for the parents, they should be taken care of during their old age, either by the person himself or maybe in old age homes where all facilities are there and where he keeps on visiting, because their proper medical care and other things could also be taken. After having considered various points of the parents, one should go to siblings. Because these are all, you see, given by the God. Parents are given by the God, siblings are given by the God Almighty, some siblings before we arrive, some siblings afterwards. So in their case, it should be ensured that we maintain good relations. We may be living away from each other, but we can remain in contact through telephone and some occasional visits. And if somebody is in trouble and if we can help, even if it is a little inconvenient for us, we should still help. Because all these acts will ultimately give us good marks and in that scale of humanity. Now after this, first parents, second siblings, then other relatives. So there also we should be maintaining good relations. But among that larger family, we can say, you see, with time, when we go on aging and everybody is aging, somebody is moving here and there, we lose contact with quite a few. If that happens in the natural course, it's okay. But if we sometimes renew the contact, meet him well. And with whom you are maintaining friendship, that we are in touch, keep good relations. There also, if somebody needs any help and if we can render that help without any inconvenience to us, we must do that. After this, just go through about childhood friends, school, college friends, all the teachers, and if we are in contact with any, maintain those contacts as long as you can, or as long as the other fellow is replying back to your gestures. Then look at your neighbors. They are also maintain good relations. After this comes a spouse. A spouse is also called life partner. Very important person in anybody's life. So there, no doubt, God did not produce both of them together as a spouse, because they meet later on in the life. We find out our spouse. So, and a spouse, you see, it may be a lifelong spouse, it may be a temporary spouse in the sense that after few years we separate out. So anyway, first, about the spouse, we should be very sensitive about the spouse. We should not be hurting the spouse. We should be cooperating with the spouse. We should be cooperating, giving good wishes for all his good pursuits, which are not bad to the society at least. We should extend at least our best wishes if we can't otherwise help physically and that thing. And suppose a time comes when both have to separate out, do it. But try that least bitterness takes place in separation. Then after this, children. Children are the wonderful gift of the God Almighty. They have to be taken care of well. As said, that in the initial years it is the parents who give good values to them, so try to give those values by speaking out about those things to them. And one thing I have noticed at quite some places, that it is thought that after particular age, somewhere it is 18 years, that let the child earn himself and carry out his studies and this and that. My dear friends, as I had described earlier, that person, our son, if it is born with roti kapda makan, bread, clothing and housing, he is going to get it lifetime, and you are the person who has to provide it. So please don't run away from that duty. I mean, if it is not a burden on you. If it is a burden on you, your child will also understand, he will not ask for it. But if you can afford it, then I think till his regular, continuous studies, where he is getting through the examinations one after another, and till your son or daughter finds a job to earn himself or herself, I think it is the duty of the parents to support them if they have the finances. If they do not have the finances, their children should be told that, yeah, you have to earn. Now, having told this, you will find that there may be many children who might start earning themselves, and they will not be asking for support from the parents. So it depends. But as a parent, we should not run away from our duty. And please do give them freedom to choose their careers and choose their spouses. Only when they remain undecided, they seek your advice or your help, then give it. Otherwise, let them be on their own on these matters. Then comes the workplace, that professional place. So we work somewhere, or we have our own business, or do something. We meet so many persons there are so many colleagues. There may be some superiors, there may be some juniors and all that. This is certainly, as I said, everybody for that matter, they were there, but they are a special laboratory of the God Almighty, because we might keep on working in the profession at one place or maybe 2 or 3 for very long period. So all our, you see, this matters of mantra, etc., whatever it is, you'll have to experiment those here. So be very careful in all your interactions and be very positive. By the way, my dear friends, on this subject, it comes under management also. I have already uploaded many videos on that. So these are uploaded under the title R.K. Sharma, Self and Organization Management, Lectures 1 to 21. If you type R.K. Sharma lectures, then also I think you may get these things. Then this, out of these lectures, 21st lecture is God Almighty's mantra, which I am discussing here. And this has 21 extended lectures. That lecture 21, extension 1, lecture 21, extension 2, and like this. And there, out of these 21, different things are given that which will take place when we have taken the mantra and sincerely pursue. So, and to get that, those extended lectures, because for number 21, lecture number 21, you will have to go for R.K. Sharma, lecture 21, then you can get it. But for all that extended lectures, 1 to 21, it is very easy. You just type LEC, short form for lecture, LEC, then short form of extension, EXT. So just type LEC, give a space, then EXT, and you'll get those things. So I'll request you that please go through those lectures, and I'm sure you'll get a good insight. And then in my next talk, that is R8 step 1, because step 1, R6 was step 1, R7 is, this one is step 1, next will also be step 1, means that God Almighty's mantra, that is step 1, then step 2, 3, 4. So in the next talk, I'll be taking up a few of those things which is already uploaded, and few new things for your information, I say. Till then, thank you very much.